have a very important message for anybody who watches porn or knows somebody who watches porn, and that is the fact that a lot of the people who are in this have been sexually trafficked, they have been coerced, they have been manipulated, they have been blackmailed, they have been threatened, and so you don't want to be the person who provides the market for the horrible things that go on behind the scenes. So I don't know if you have seen the movie Lovelace or have heard of it, but in this movie there were a lot of horrible things that have happened to this woman. She was gang raped, she was beat up, she was, kind of manipulated. And the truth is that a lot of what went on is actually more common than it seems, and it's not consensual at all. For Lovelace, it was kind of blurred lines as to whether or not it was consensual, but there are many, many cases in which it is not consensual in the least. And so, just to kind of give you a few references that proves this, there was one study done by Thorne, and it said they surveyed these women who were sexually trafficked, and 64% of them said that they were either advertised or sold online. In another study, I will put it in the description, I can't think of it at the time, but about 49% of the women said that they were engaged in porn. And this is a study from 9 countries, a study that looked at women who were sexually trafficked in 9 different countries. So how can you overcome this if you watch porn and you're addicted and it's just really hard to stop? Well, I'm just going to give you kind of 3 tips that I think can really help in any addiction. It has really helped me. I have not struggled with porn, but I have struggled with other things like lust and vanity. And so one very important thing, I think, is to look at your environment. And that is the first tip. Try to be aware of the environment you're in when you watch porn, and the time. So time and place, time and place, time and place. Can you be at another place during this time? And so if you cannot, if it's close to night when you do, and usually kind of are close to going to bed anyways, maybe try reading, taking not reading, but taking a replacement. And so that leads me to my next tip, which is find a replacement. Read a book, pick up a new hobby, start writing, start getting into music, start watching a clean show, maybe start going to bed earlier. I think one of the best things that you can do in order to replace this bad habit is, if you do this at night, to start going to bed earlier, and then use the next morning to go to a volunteer opportunity. And so if possible, and so doing, of course, whatever your schedule permits. So if you, for instance, watch porn late at night, a lot on Friday nights, and you have weekend mornings usually somewhat free, then maybe you could start going to bed early on a Friday night and using those weekend mornings to volunteer. And I think that volunteering is one of the best things that people who watch porn can do, because when you watch porn, you start to view people as objects. So there was one study, and I don't know the name of it at the top of my head, but I will post a link in the description about it. There was one study that showed men who would look at scantily clad women, and a lot of the areas in the brains that were lighting up had to do are the same parts that light up when a man is engaging with tools, with objects. So this just happened when a woman was scantily clad. How much more than would they look at a woman as an object, look at people as objects when they are engaged in pornography? Or I don't want to say engaged like they were providing it, but like, watching pornography. So, yeah. So my third tip, which is also very, 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 very important, is to tell somebody. It could be really easy to get into our own little world, like we are just this disgusting person all alone, when really we're all just disgusting people together. We all, maybe we do have different sins, but a lot of us sin. All of us sin. We're all sinners. And so I think it's really important to tell somebody who you trust, and somebody who will at least help you at the time that you tell them, and if possible, who can be accountability. It can be hard to find an accountability partner, somebody who will hold you accountable. So I don't want to exactly suggest that, and you never tell anybody because you can't find somebody who will hold you accountable. Tell somebody, at least one person who will help you at least at the time, and then it's kind of up to you if you want them to be held accountable. But the first step is telling somebody who will be kind to you at the time and show understanding, and so maybe even give you tips and insight to kind of beat this. So those are my 3 tips. Be aware of your time and place. Find a replacement. Tell someone. May God bring you peace, and I would say, may God love you, but He already loves you, no matter how horrible you have been, and He will forgive you if you are sorry. He has forgiven murderers, and all they had to do is be sorry and repent from their heart. So, again, peace be with you. And I hope that you can know the amazing, amazing fulfillment of God's love that provides intimacy that pornography can never bring.